fear is you walk away. The battle's here, and I'm standing in the fire. So take my hand, and we will stay alive. So let's take this time to feel it on our lives. 'Cause if we don't, the fight will eat the love alive. Stuck in self-destruct, and we can't wake up. Don't wanna give it away, can't make me give it away. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the Don't eat the love alive.
going to the line. Who's going to get it done? Green flag, we're racing.
Get your foot in. He got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Get there. No.
This is going to win.
Wow.
Take a hive of bees, shake it up, stick it in a blender, and then press go. That's about what it's like with big fields here at FireBird. So be prepared for some action as we get ready to watch round 1 of the iRacing Regional Short Course Series. And you'll see it all live here on FTF.gg. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is the voice of off-road, Dave Arnold. And behind the scenes is our director, Jacob Hitz. Dave, I'm looking forward to this, and what a way to start things at FireBird, of all places, with one of the biggest fields we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I got to tell you, man, I'm so excited to come back here, and it's kind of cool. It goes back to the original name of FireBird. We were, Wild Horse Pass, and all this stuff, but back to its roots, back at FireBird. We got a lot of passion at that track, and I'll tell you, the virtual world is in for some exciting racing here tonight.
Is for sure. It's a very, very short track that we run on. It's just about a half mile in length. And while we won't have all 50 plus of our competitors competing at the same time, once we get to the feature, it's still going to be pretty packed out there. But as always, we're going to have our heat races, we're going to have our LCQs, and then we'll go to the main event. But this is the regional. This is sort of kind of the second step in the ladder, one step down from the top step here, Dave. So we got some hopefuls that are trying to push their way through.
Well, it's a good way for them to dip their toe into the dirt there. And I'll tell you, though, coming into FireBird, if you haven't really been in a competitive situation, this track could be tough on you. There's some fast lines that you got to really look for. It gets really tight. And I'll tell you, there's not a lot of room to pass out there. So you got to really hit your marks just perfect.
Yeah, that is true, which makes this qualifying session, which is actually happening right now, all the more important. They each get just a few laps before they are sent off into their respective heats. 4 laps to try and set the best time possible out here, which go extremely quick, considering you're looking at lap times in the range of about 35 seconds for most of our competitors. But coming around to the jump, one of the biggest jumps we've got here is one of our main competitors coming down. Looks like, I think this is Christian Noble that we've got on our screen right now in the 946, and then around the long embanked final corner up to the line. Let's see if this jumps him up from the 7th place where he sits now. No, 35.6, going to be a little slower, so he gets one more lap to try and improve.
And yeah, that's the whole thing, is just finding these lines during, practice. They're going to try and set it up. Qualifying, you really got to set down those fast laps. You want to be out front in the qualifying when that race starts for your heat race. So important to get out there, because like I said, it gets tight out there. It gets rough. It gets physical. And that's what this track's all about.
To give you an idea, the top 14 drivers are all within half a second around here. So
yeah,
the short lap times means there's going to be little to make a difference. Looks like Christian not going to improve on this last lap.
Oh, yeah, and seeing a lot of familiar names in the class there, but a lot of new names, too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm wondering if I'm seeing the 45 without a name. Usually that's Brent Smith.
That is indeed Brent Smith.
Okay, I'm not seeing him there. Yeah, his brother always runs. His twin runs 46. So, but what really cool there is little Ricky Huseman. I'm seeing him sitting 11th right now. His dad, of course, the legendary short course driver Rick Huseman. Unfortunately, we lost him and his brother Jeff and another friend. Gosh, it's over 10, 15 years now, maybe. Wow. It's been. No, I'd take it back. Can't be that. It's got to be around over 10. It's just time has kind of worked, but so great to see him, following his father's footsteps out there, and see Doug Batag's little brother out there too, and Christopher Plummer. We're seeing, let's see, Smith Boys, Chaden Zane Mender. So some familiar names, some new names out there. Of course, Matoxin. He's always a player in the game there.
That was Jake Hill we saw, who'd already wrapped up all of his qualifying. He's only sitting 40th out of everybody right now, which is going to make life difficult because the drivers are going to have to try and climb their way through in the heats. Then they get that LCQ to try and advance, as the 7:29 of Nathan Ramsey has not set a time yet. His first lap got deleted, so he must have brushed the wall. That's one of the rules in iRacing. You cannot touch the walls or else the lap will be discounted, and he's struggling, it looks like, Dave, through this final turn.
Might have been a little frustrated after that too. Sometimes it gets into your head. You just got to shake it off, clear it off, and just like start fresh.
That one did count, but only a 37.2, 43rd out of 44 drivers that have set a time. Hopefully this one's a little bit cleaner. He's got this and one more to go. They get about 10 minutes to set a lap, and that's plenty for all 4 laps. So even drivers that haven't been out yet, they've got time to get out and complete all of them. This is looking just a little better. Still maybe a little bit bouncy coming over the whoop sections and then up to the timing line, leaping onto the tabletop. What's it going to be? 36.6. That's much better, but it's still sitting in 43rd. Not a whole lot better.
And it's crazy to say that, 43rd. We got over 50 drivers here trying to qualify tonight, so it's going to get, rough in these heat races. It's going to be a lot of heat races. It's going to be, unfortunately, some drivers going home tonight, or I should be saying watching at home from their computers.
Exactly. So if you don't make it through the heats or the LCQ, that's it. You get parked, and all you can do is become a spectator from there. And that's going to be tricky. From what I understand, they should have 3 drivers advancing from each heat. And then the LCQs are supposed to have 2 each, but we'll find out the for sure numbers after we finish the qualifying here, and all the calculations have been done by the sim. I thankfully don't have to do that myself, because I tear out my hair. What little is left of it is we wait for the last of them to wrap up here. But I wonder if all drivers have set times that are able to, because we're still waiting for drivers to get out, and I see most of them are sitting in pit lane now.
Well, that's a good sign. Looks like I think you mentioned Jake Hill, what, qualified 40th or whatever. I know young man just got a win actually at FireBird in real life a couple weeks ago. I know Drapkin's been helping him out quite a bit. He's always helped that family out, and so it's kind of cool to see him get a win out there, and I'd like to see him do well tonight too.
Hopefully he can pull on some of that experience.
Yeah.
So as I do see Tyler Vandenbush out practicing laps, but he set all of his times. He sits in 19th right now. I think it's only him and Mark Grechko who are out there continuing to use this time. They're allowed to. It's just it won't count any of those laps that they set. So I'm kind of curious what that's going to do for them once we get to the race. The other thing I wonder about is, while they will reset the track, I think at least once or twice during this evening's event, Dave, 50 some odd cars pounding around here. This place is going to get chewed up.
Yeah, that's the curiosity. Are they going to reset this track at all after they get so many laps on it, or are they going to have to deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, if they choose not to at all, then it's going to be very, very rubbered in. There's going to be quite the blue groove, so watch out for dramatic differences from the beginning to the end, as we get just a minute left to go until we get to the racing itself. This is the start of a 4-race season they're going to be running here. Next one going to be at Crandon, so going from one of the or the shortest that they have on iRacing to one of the longest. So it'll be quite the dramatic difference between round 1 and round 2.
Yeah, and of course, I know we're going to probably throw a Crandon short in there sometime this season.
Let me double check, because I'm not sure that they will.
Really? Usually they throw that in there, and that's usually a fun one.
So, excuse me, it is a 5-race. Oh, and apologies, you're right. I should have looked closer. It is the short version for next week. So yes, you are correct. And then they'll wrap up at the full one. But yeah, Bark River is going to be round 3. Then Wild West will be round 4, and we wrap it up at Crandon in the final week of December 12th. All right.
Which unfortunately I will not be at. I'm leaving for Thailand on December 5th, so I will probably miss the last 2 rounds. So I'm hoping to see the fruition of how it's going to unfold until that point.
Yeah, I'm eager to see what becomes of our competitors, especially if we have so many stick around for the
Yeah.
entirety of the season. Looks like qualifying now officially over, so we're going to get our first grid, and that is going to see the likes of Brody Duscher on the top spot. Jaden Zane Minder is going to be starting in P2. From there, it'll be Brent Smith on the inside of the second row. Rick Huseman, you mentioned him a little bit earlier. He starts from 4th, and then Gavin Plummer will be P5. Stephen Metcalf starts in 6th today. Row 4 sees Dominic Berhuet in the 7th spot. Patrick Solari starting P8. Top 10 are going to be rounded out by Franklin Monac in 9th and Jordan Miller in 10th. And then, believe it or not, we have more than that just in this heat alone. Chad Simpson will start in 11th. Connor Berry and James Burke, if you see them on there, they will not be starting in this race, I believe, as they are race control, so you can disregard them. Meanwhile, we'll wait just a little bit, it looks like, until we get the cars released and on their way. I think the race control is giving them a last few words on the expectations, and no wonder, Dave, because, I mean, 11 trucks taking part in the first heat alone. This is going to get crowded.
Yeah, definitely. And I was also thinking to myself, if you had James Burke and Connor Berry in there, it's like bringing 2 bazookas to a knife fight.
And charging from the back of the field. That would be amusing to watch. I think, in the sake of fairness, most of these drivers are saying, "Please don't."
No.
Oh, but so now the nerves start to build as they sit and wait. We'll have a pace lap, and then they will be set on their way. It's 6 laps for these features. Again, top 3, and that's, I think, the other interesting thing. 11 drivers and only 3 automatically advance. Everybody else goes to the LCQ. That's really going to put the pressure on to be up towards the front.
And usually there could be multiple, up to 4 LCQs it could be, and there could be only 2 out of that one. So, I mean, it just gets tighter and tighter as we go.
Double checking, and it looks like it might only be 1 to the feature, if iRacing is telling me correctly. So, wow, that's even more difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
Whew. So, just waiting for race control to release them, and then we'll get started for race 1 of the iRacing Regional Short Course Series. It's been a long off season, and not only are the drivers raring to go, but I don't know about you, Dave. I am so excited to be back to racing here for short course.
Oh, absolutely. I love this. I mean, it's so fun to see all the new talent come up through the regional series. I mean, just anything that's dirt racing on the dirt, man, you got me.
One of the stranger situations. They were supposed to unleash the cars here, but race control instead had a technical issue. So they're getting that sorted out, and then they're going to get them started on their way. Usually it's one of the drivers that we're set holding and waiting for. This time it's race control themselves, frantically rebooting the computers and getting them good to go here. But yeah, that just shows you for this style of racing, that is a large field that you're seeing all lined up. And we'll see them probably have to use a lot of tear-offs if you're coming from the back of the field, which is a thing in this sim, is the dirt is simulated as kicking up into your face, especially if you're behind anybody. That increases it. So imagine having 10 trucks just throwing and slinging mud at you constantly.
Yeah, that's what I love about this, the realism of that, because that does happen. If you're not in first, you're getting a face full of mud. There's no doubt about it whatsoever.
Saw a little bit of Stephen Metcalf's webcam.
Which we finally got to identify him.
Yeah. We were having some fun before the broadcast went live trying to figure out who was who, because there apparently was some missing identification on some of our cameras here. But hopefully we should be on our way, waiting to see. Yeah, okay, so we just got the message from Race Control that we're going to be released, so we'll be getting going here momentarily.
Top 3 will transfer.
Indeed. So in this case, that's going to be Duscher, Minder, and Smith starting in those top 3 positions. Everybody behind is going to be charging hard to try and take that away. Which makes me wonder, because second place, usually we have so many people able to advance, they can kind of sit and just rest on their laurels. Here, I mean, you lose one spot, suddenly you're on the bubble in the third.
And you got so many trucks behind you. I mean, that's the tough thing, you know. When you got a 5 or 6 in a class, okay, it's not that much to worry about. But when you got another, you know, 6, 7 trucks coming after you, it's another story.
This is likely to be fierce as the pace truck is now in, and the 909 has control of the fields. Love this long final bank turn that leads you onto the big tabletop here at the start of the lap. It's waiting for the call from the flag stand, and there it is. Green flag is out. Pretty good start from our pole sitter, but Minder's going to try and take it. Oh, he gets a little shoved out to the side as they went 3 wide. That's Brent Smith who moves up to P2.
Yeah, Brent definitely fed him a door on that, but it was side-to-side contact. Ooh, a little hard hit there at Duscher with Smith. Minder's going to follow right behind him. Minder trying to look for another line, looking for a little payback on Smith as he looks to the inside. He's getting kind of a little bit of a block pass there, trying to stuff him behind Duscher. Couldn't make it happen, though.
Brody still holds the top spot. Smith in second, Minder in third. So those were our top 3 starters. They haven't changed as they crossed the line for the first time, but there was definitely some swapping back and forth. Big slider from Brent Smith. He's now in the lead, and that actually pushes Duscher back to third.
Yeah, it looks like Smith already lost a rear bedside there. So I can see him going on, and very cool to see Ricky Hughesman in 4th position there, fighting his way around.
Minder.
Yeah, wow, Minder, look at this.
Minder got up to the top spot, and there was a move down to the inside by our pole sitter of Brody, but now he's getting squeezed in the middle, and they're going to be side by side over the tabletop into the corner. Hughesman can't get the car turned. He starts to lose ground. Back up to third. Brody is into the transfer spot. Ahead of him is Smith. Minder is in the lead. We are still only halfway through this race on top of things.
Yeah, you can see Duscher, though, is definitely going. They look like pinballs out there, the way they're hitting each other. I always say it's like a little bit of MMA involved in short course.
Hughesman is the one on the outside looking in the 136. He's in that tan truck that you see back there trying to play catch up. Or, excuse me, no, in the blue and white that we're riding on board with now. And this is down into the braking of turn 1. Not quite close enough to do anything this time. He's going to have to get a little bit tighter to the white and orange of Brody.
He's right up there looking up the inside there, but you can see Minder just starting to pull away a little bit back there. Smith, he's definitely going to go in protective mode. He does not want Duscher getting up or getting to the inside of him, but he's also got to worry about Hughesman. It looks like the 99, was that going around?
You're correct.
Solari?
That's, yeah, Solari. He'll get it going before he falls to dead last. Chad Simpson holds that position for now. Seen a bigger separation between 4th and 5th. This allows Hughesman to really be on the attack. Let's see if he's able to take it away from Brent Smith, who's now fallen into 3rd behind Brody. No, he sends it in a little bit too deep. Next time around, going to be the white flag.
Yeah, these happen fast there for sure. 6 laps of blink of an eye on a short course like this.
Whoops, once again. Oh, he's going very shallow into the turn. He's not able to get the slide job from that one. There is the white, held aloft by Barney as they leap past the start-finish line once again. Minder leads, Duscher second, Smith in third. Hughesman has been trying to get up there. They're being caught by a plumber in the 298, but that might be too little too late.
Yeah, nice hold off there by Brent Smith there. He's keeping that middle preferred line coming around. He's going to set it up with that nose down low. Oh, he actually, he left that inside wide open, but he was able to keep Hughesman right behind him. Hughesman looking down the inside. I think he's going to shave a little too much speed off here. We'll see. It's going to be, oh my goodness, look at this.
It was close. Minder wins, and Smith is going to sneak through ahead of Hughesman by about 0.2 of a second, almost side by side through the air past the flag stand. That means everybody else on down is heading off to the LCQ, where only one of them will make it to the feature race. So our end results for heat number 1 sees Jaden Zane Minder, your winner, with Brody Duscher in second, then Brent Smith third, Huseman, Plummer, Metcalf, Berhuet, Solari, Honak, Simpson, and Miller will head off to the LCQ. Now it's time for the second heat. William Finding is on the pole for this one. Jeremy DeWett will be starting in second. Then it's Christian Noble in third and Hunter Carlson in fourth. Dave Hayes will start P5. It's Wes Graham to his outside on that third row in sixth. Trevor Teal starts seventh. You've got Kyle Cooper in eighth, followed by Justin Pierce in ninth and Drew Gerber in 10th. Then it is Armando Melgosa, last of the field. Swain and Drapkin are again our race control drivers, or race control stewards during this event. All right, so we now have one under our belts. What's your biggest takeaway from what we witnessed on that, Dave?
Well, I mean, you've got a lot of new drivers and some seasoned drivers. You can see the seasoned drivers have definitely, went ahead and they did a great job. I got to say, it was a little physical. You saw what was going down the front straightaway with Huseman and, of course, Smith when they were getting tied up in there. A lot of the drivers behind were fighting it out. This is going to be more physical than we see at the Nationals. These guys are a little bit smoother when they get to the Nationals. At this level, there's going to be a lot more contact.
Yeah, I think that seems pretty accurate. Kind of what we expected, but
Yeah.
it looked like the drivers handled it decently well. I did like that we saw some slide jobs at the very beginning. Now, I'm kind of curious, will those pick up as the track gets slicker, or is that going to become harder to effectively execute?
I think when the track gets slicker, it's harder to execute a slide job on there because you don't have as much car control at that point. A front end could, slide out a little bit, or you can have the back end step out on you, and then you're pitched sideways. So you got to keep a lot of control there.
All right, so if you're going to do it, might as well try it here in the heats before, or at least the early heats. We'll see
Before
what
the track just goes to heck.
Yeah. We'll see what kind of condition it's in after this one. First one, I didn't see much in the way of a blue groove forming yet. So, again, only 6 laps per, but you've got 11 trucks out there, each putting rubber down as the laps go by and tearing up the dirt and grooving it out as... I think they're going to be released here in just a bit, and we'll be heading off. So, just heard race control say that they're good to go. So, 11 trucks will be sent off. The question is, will 11 trucks take the checkered flag?
Yeah, that's always a question, that's for sure. They a lot of beating and banging going on out there. And that's one of the things. If you're not in the front couple of groups, it gets really tough in the back there, especially at this track. It's so tight, it's so fast, but if somebody makes a mistake, that's going to be your best benefit right there. You got to sometimes force them into that.
So who's figured that out from watching that first race? I'm sure there were drivers taking notes and going to be trying to use that. And remember, between these sessions, the other interesting thing is that the track continues evolving. Those who are in the earlier sessions, the track is going to be more similar to what they experienced at the end of practice and during qualifying, Dave. So once we get to the last heat, essentially drivers are getting onto a brand new track that they don't know how it's going to feel.
Yeah, and that's one thing in real life too that they've really taken to the iRacing, and that's one thing I like. When a track is first prepped, it's never good. It's greasy, slimy sometimes. The grooves haven't set up yet. Sometimes a little groove is good for you. You find a little bit extra traction there. But as it starts to deteriorate, after that sweet period, the guys I think later on in the heat race are going to have a better track than early on and later. It's one of those things. You get marbles start to develop, the blue groove starts to develop, and you get a lot of slickness.
And the other interesting thing is with the live stewards that we have been mentioning, they are watching and giving drivers warning. Penalties can be handed out. The 909 and the 99 from last event, in fact, had warnings. So you do have to behave out there. Like you said, it's a bit MMA, but it is not all holds barred.
Well, and one of the things, too, I watched, it was the door-to-door contact that we saw with Minder and Smith, and the same with Huseman and Smith when they're going. There was a lot of door-to-door contact. There was no angle or 45 degrees coming at them trying to spin the guy out. That's what you want, door-to-door contact. That's fine. It's when you try to change the attitude or the position of the truck where it's a no-no. But the green flag is getting ready to come in.
And it is indeed out as they now fly through the air down towards turn one. This can sometimes be a mess. We definitely got trucks sliding into one another. DeWitt gets a thunk from Noble, but they'll carry on. Now he's under threat from Carlson in behind for third position. And into that hairpin, it's a little bit of a mess at the back of the field.
Yeah, it's definitely getting a little busy back there. You can see a couple of the drivers on top and starting to split away just a little bit there, but you can see how packed up they are in the back. And that's where it's going to start to get physical. Guys get a little bit desperate sometimes and tend to overdrive.
Into the first lap sees finally DeWitt and Noble in your transfer spots. Dave Hayes is the one trying to fight to get in. He's going to try to lean on Noble, but to no avail. Behind him, we got that battle for fifth position between Carlson and Graham. Graham really gets into the back of him and shoves him forward. As we watch there with the onboard of, that was, I'm trying to remember who this was. Oh, wrong driver. There we go. This is Wes, actually, that we're watching now.
I think the other driver was taking a nap. So.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I didn't think they were in this race.
But you can see in the back of the pack there, you can see how busy it is. It's a little bit deeper in there. He's sitting about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position there.
Graham down in that P6 is not going to get through, but they're 3 wide in front of him, almost rolling over. That's Dave Hayes. He still finds a way to get to the inside down into turn 3, but it's not going to get him the position. It makes him vulnerable now to Hunter Carlson underneath him. Not enough of a banking there on the low side for that one, so they stay as they were. Finally, DeWitt Noble still up at the front of this field in the transfer positions.
Yeah, it's a good spot. These two drivers that are sitting back there, he's holding on to that final position, the transfer position. That's where it's going to get a little bit difficult. You watch him banging it out there.
Very much in a problem zone is Christian Noble. He's been trying everything, has Dave Hayes, but isn't quite working out yet. Going to take the shallower line for Christian and then swing out to the outside as he completes this lap. Hayes also has Hunter Carlson just behind him. We're riding on board with the 999. He goes way deep into the corner, and he's slow off of it a bit.
Oh, man. Hayes looking there, coming around the outside. And it looks like he got in the binders a little bit too much there, and he lost that momentum there. I think he was afraid he was going to get into the rear.
And coming up the inside, that's going to be Hunter Carlson. Hunter takes the position. He's now in P4, but the more these two squabble with one another, the more that allows our third place driver Noble to try and run away. This is the final lap already. White flag.
It happens so quickly out there, it's hard to believe. So top 3 pretty much established. Of course, Finling out front. He's going to have a little company with these guys trying to get up there, but not a lot of time for it to happen as they go off the Lucas lead.
Through the whoops once again. Oh, this is going to be hard fought for Hunter versus Hayes. He wants that spot back. Up in front of them, finally will win. DeWitt is in second. Noble's going to hold on. He'll transfer through, but it'll be Carlson who winds up in the 4th position over Dave Hayes. He's not going to be happy about that. Wes Graham, Kyle Cooper, Trevor Teal, Justin Pierce, Drew Gerber, and Armando Molgosa will round out the fields, and we'll head off to our last chance qualifier. Remember, your finishing position will help determine your start position for the LCQ as well. So even if you don't transfer, you want to be as high up as you can be.
Yeah, like we saw with Huseman, Carlson, both in 4th, you're in good position going into the LCQ.
Already gridded up for heat number 3 now. This one has Austin Scheiber starting on the pole. Adam McAfee will be in 2nd position. Colton Buchanan will then be P3. Drake Mittag will be in 4th spot. Taylor Vandenbush in P5. Brandon Forcade will be in P6. And then Solomon Borschinger in the 7th spot. After him, it's Jason Vandevoort in 8th. Top 10 going to be rounded out by Kyle D'Souza and Keith Williams. And lastly, Nathan Ramsey, I believe, is going to be the last of our drivers to compete, as King and Leroy will be starting, or will be our race control in this one. So another 11 truck field on this one. And that was a bit of a different one because we saw the top 3 feuding in the first race, Dave. That one, it was basically just third on back.
Yeah, top 2 pretty much when they got that position established, they were just going to run away with it. You know, looking back there, it's like, I mean, Carlson was doing everything he could.
Yeah, he was trying. He was giving it his all.
Yeah.
And same thing with Hayes as well. And like I said, Hayes is not going to be happy that he gets demoted yet another position for the LCQs. It was almost, I'd say that those two fighting may have actually cost him the position. I guess you can't really blame Carlson because he's got to do something. He can't just sit there and wait.
Well, and I think you said something very poignant right there, is when you're battling with somebody, you tend to slow down. You're not going to be at your regular race pace, so you're so worried about holding somebody off or trying to catch somebody, so it kind of throws off your mojo just a little bit, so I like to say. So that's a very good, astute observation, I think. It happens in a lot of motorsports that we see.
Pretty much. As soon as you're not on the optimum racing line, you're going to be a lot slower than those in front of you, or at least likely, unless they make a serious mistake. And I think we saw that very much exemplified right there. Well, man, I'm already enjoying it. We've been spoiled coming to FireBird here for the opening round because it's like there's never a dull moment out on track.
No, not at all. I mean, FireBird's, don't get me wrong, Crandon, one of my favorite tracks. It's long, it's big, but if you really want to get into it and really see drivers, threading the eye of the needle, being precise, I think FireBird's that type of track there. You got to really be in your game. You got to hit your marks, and if you make mistakes, it can change the whole field.
I know iRacing has been talking about what's coming in the future. They've said that they're making efforts on trying to bring new stuff to revitalize dirt road content and stuff like that. And one of the things that has been teased in the past is they've shown off that they have scanned Wheatland, which is a big one. And I think a lot of drivers on this discipline are super eager for that to show up.
Oh, I love Wheatland. Been there several times in person, called many races there. The under-over is just so awesome, and the big leap. I mean, you think this is a big jump. It's like literally 4 times the drop-off. I mean, I watched Kyle LeDuc launch it off of there. Randy Minier, he went all the way to the bottom. I think it was like, 100-something feet. It was just insane. I know, flying there. And I mean, that truck kept on going. So it's insane. I love them, to maybe bring Glen Helen or something like that. I know Champ Off-Road this year is going to be making their debut on the West Coast in September. So, maybe they could add Glen Helen down the road. You never know.
I'm just crossing fingers that we start to get more of these tracks because I'll always say it. This is some of the most fun you're ever going to see and compete in as well on iRacing. Because if you're watching this and you think this looks fun, you too can actually get out on here. You can sign up for iRacing, give it a try, see if you're just as good as some of these drivers. But I can tell you that it's a lot harder than it looks. I love getting out. Yeah.
It's like, who doesn't like flying through the air? I mean, that's just so much fun in a 3,000-pound truck.
It's this might be the regional, and we've got the national one that's going to be that little bit better, but this is not a group of slouches out here. These are some pretty quick drivers competing in this one. It looks like we just heard the good to go from race control, so they are sending them out, and we start heat number 3. And double checking, yes, we do have 4 heats for this. Then we will have 3 last chance qualifiers that will take part. And then, of course, our feature race, which is going to be, I believe 26 laps. That's going to be a long one. And the cool thing about that we haven't seen yet, Dave, is that they have a competition caution, just like the real series.
I approve. I love it. And that's one of the best things about it. It really, tightens the field back up. I mean, you get guys it's like the race within the race. You know, you get to see a whole nother race in that second part of it. It always makes it interesting.
It really does, and it's one of those cool things that they do in this series that they do manually, because it's not exactly something that is easy to do within iRacing, but they've gotten a lot of practice with it here, as that was a big stack up on that inside line. And that was, I think, McAfee, who had a couple of trucks kind of bump him in the back. I think no harm, no foul on that. Scheiber has control of the fields, and he's on the loud pedal. Green flag is out. Let's head down to turn one. Who's going to make it out the other side?
Yeah, it looks like Schreiber looking on the outside, got a smooth run there. McAfee trying to follow Buchanan, trying to get up there and establish that third spot. Looks like it's going to be up in the air right now for these drivers. And look at this, the 202 of Buchanan trying to do a little slide down the inside, comes to the outside, which obviously sets him up coming around and blocks that turn.
And that was perfectly executed. He now holds P3, as behind him all the other trucks that aren't going to transfer are once again kind of fighting for that fourth position instead and slowing each other up. But Scheiber, McAfee, Buchanan are your order at the end of the first lap, which was as they started.
And of course, just outside the bubble right now, 4K there, and of course Drake Matag, the 518. Drake watched him come up with trophy carts and UTV driving, so it's great to see him in the iRacing short course too.
Around through turn 3, switching back now, long and sweeping turn 4. Does look like we've got a bit of a challenge now, as Fourcade is getting close to Mittag, but Mittag is also close to Buchanan. Third place is where you want to be. The 202 has got to be feeling a little bit more nervous now. He covers the inside down into 2.
Yeah, you can see a lot of accordion action going on there. You can see the COD inside door there at Mittag, custom off-road design. His brother and dad and him, they build a lot of real-life trucks for real race car drivers. So there's a lot of knowledge in that young man's head too, growing up around that. But Schreiber, look at this, starting to just stretch his legs out just a little bit. McAfee, he's still, he's got to worry about Buchanan back there, but he's sitting safe. As long as he gets second or third, you're going to the dance.
Down into the corner to his inside. Ooh. Drake gives him a little door, but nothing doing. He'll stay in fourth. Buchanan holds on to it. They switch back, and once again to the inside of the corner for the 518. Just can't seem to get the drive off of it.
Well, Buchanan, he kept that middle preferred line, which is obviously the fastest way out of that turn into those little stutter bumps there. And you got to set up through that sweeper, but you can see, Buchanan's definitely got a good line. He's holding his line. He's not trying to change it up. He's not trying to catch McAfee. He's trying to hold off Mittag now. That's what's in his head.
It seems like defending is very much an art and a skill in this discipline. Yes. And he's doing an incredible job at it. All this time might not be as good as the nose ahead there for Colton, but he's going to try and switch back underneath him once again, get a better drive off the corner, leans on him a little bit as Drake gets the shot, but he's again on the wrong side.
Well, actually, Drake's on the right side right here. If you can slide him around and keep him up against the wall, because that's where you want to stay up to the inside. If you can stay to the inside here, he could take the pass.
Drake's got it. Buchanan's now on the outside looking in. This is the last lap. What a time to get it done. Scheiber is still your leader. McAfee sitting in second. And Taylor Vandenbush try to see if he can get a pass on Colton as well. Across the line, it's going to be Austin Schreiber winning heat number 3. McAfee second. And Drake Mittag with a pass that took almost a full lap to get done, but he made it stick, is going to be last to advance from there. Buchanan, Vandenbush, Bershinger, Fourcade, Williams, Leroy, Vandeboort, Ramsey, and D'Souza will head off to the LCQ.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. Schreiber, of course, he got out there. Once he got out there, he ran his race, and I think it was everybody else behind him was in defense mode.
It's a good way of putting it, and we'll talk about that in a bit. In the meantime, let's go over our starting order for the fourth and final heat. Mark Grechko will be on the pole for this one. It's Alex Lejunas in second, Nathan Metoxen P3, Hadley Boyce starts 4th as Brock Smith will be 5th, and then Joey Rickard in 6th. Row 4 sees Nolan Bishop on the inside. Quentin Johnson is on his outside. Austin Bolson starts 9th, and Jake Hill is 10th. Alexis Crossman starts in 11th, and I believe Nick Dashley is, yes, Dashley and Denson going to be our race control. So we're going to be going racing here shortly. However, in the meantime, we'll be back after a short commercial break. Get ready for heat number 4. Welcome back to FireBird Motorsports Park. It's the last heat race of the day, and Mark Grechko is going to be leading them to the start flag in a car that looks like it's gone through the paintball mode of GoldenEye 64.
I'll tell you, we were talking about it during the commercial, going, you know what? People are going to remember that. They're going to recognize you. They're going to know. They're going to see that car. That route. I love it.
Yeah, I think it looks fantastic, and let's see if it drives fast, because we're going racing. The green flag is out. He gets a very good jump. Now behind him, things get a little sketchy for second and third. In fact, it gets worse down into the first corner. Everybody's going to be able to make it through, but I don't think they're going to make it through the lower part, as somebody's getting completely turned over. I think that is Lejeune.
Oh, man, they definitely went through that. Oh, man, talk about a tumble. Hey, they're still moving again. At least one of them is now.
Hadley Boyce was on his lid, unfortunately, and has to take a tow. We'll come around to complete lap 1, but that was definitely the messiest we've had of the field. Grechko leads. Metoxen is in second. Brock Smith up 2 to be third now.
Well, that's a quick move up there. You can see Hill, who started in the back. He's moving up to 7th now. Johnson, you're holding on there, but Crossman, Denson, and looks like they're the 414, and Lugenis.
Yeah,
but Boyce, what a heartbreaker for him.
Yeah, that has got to be frustrating. Joey Rickard in pit lane, unfortunately, taking repairs after that one. Well, cross the line. Grechko is continuing to stretch that lead over Metoxen. It's now already up to a full second, which is perhaps the biggest lead we've seen all day so far. Brock Smith is the car you see chasing on Metoxen's number 19 truck.
And it's great to see Metoxen, back. I think he took a little hiatus from the off-road side for a while. So it's great to see him back in the regionals. We go on board here with Brock Smith. So he takes a look there, sitting in that third position as he's trying to hunt down Metoxen. Speaking of the devil there. And Grechko out front starting to stretch his legs.
It's like it's mostly smooth sailing for our top three. They really don't have Quentin Johnson anywhere near them back there in fourth. So they might just kind of hold position from here as we get a nice battle between Bolson and Johnson for that fourth spot coming into turn 2. Up the inside and a little bit of banging doors once again. Truck gets very sideways over the jump, and Bolson is going to be able to hold on to it, but just barely.
Now, this is a very important battle back here for fourth. I may not think of it, you're not going to the main event, but you know what? That's going to get you a great starting position in the LCQs.
Exactly. That's why they're fighting so hard here. Quentin Johnson in that fourth spot right now, holding off Bolson. That's Nolan Bishop behind them in the red and black. And still, Bolson is really turning the screws on the 53, trying to see if he can take that spot away. No, and he really shoves him aside.
Oh, man. And I'm talking about Nolan Bishop, one of my UTV drivers, a young man. So it's great to see him out here, part of the iRacing Regional Series.
Boy, they are getting really rough out there in this little trio.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, this is like who's going to be up on that front row for the LCQ.
White flag. So last lap, they'll have to get it sorted pretty quickly here. Ooh, that was a big run up onto the berm for Bolson. That's going to slow him down, and Bishop has a chance to sneak the inside. Looks like he might actually be able to make that pass. That'll push him into fifth rather.
As he starts to move up a little bit there, and of course Grechko, Metoxen, and Smith now heading for that checkered flag.
Indeed, the 164 of Grechko takes the win. Metoxen second, Brock Smith going to be third. It is going to be Quentin Johnson who holds on to that fourth position, but
Nice.
Bishop is going to be the one to sneak by on the last lap this time into P5. Bolson will be 6, and it's Hill, Lejeunesse, Denson, Crossman, Rickert, and Boyce. The rest of the field does look like Rickert and Boyce did not manage to get back out onto the circuit to finish their race. Well, that was a frantic 4 heats to run, and now we get to do even more frantic racing, because here's the other kicker, Dave. There's these LCQs, and they're 4 laps this time.
Yeah, don't blink, because they're going to be over. It's going to be get up there, establish position. And if you're not first place, sucks to be you.
It's a little bit of Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to have one of our pit reporters used to go, "Oh man, sorry about your luck." What was that all about? So, good old Rob Klepper. But it was funny that he would say that, because it wasn't our LCQs, and he'd walk up to the guy. He never said it on camera or anything, but you always go, "Man, sorry about your luck." And it's like, was that a compliment, or was he feeling sorry for me?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Yes. All the above, D.
All right, let's go through our starting grid for the D main of our LCQs. Rick Huseman starts on the pole. Quentin Johnson will be starting in second, and Taylor Vandenbush will be third. Wes Graham starts from fourth. After that, it's Dominic Berhuet in the 5th spot. Jake Hill starts P6, and Keith Williams, starts 7th. Justin Pierce 8th, Chad Simpson 9th, then Alexis Crossman and Nathan Ransby round out 11 trucks, and only one of the 11 will advance. Now we're being told it has been updated.
Top 2.
Yeah, so top 2 will make it through. So that is some bit of relief, but not much for our drivers.
Yeah, gee, thanks. Well, I think a couple of drivers are going to be happy there.
That's tossing a dime in the tip cup, essentially.
Yes. Yeah, gee, thanks, mister.
Rick Huseman will have control. We got another stack up on the inside. That is such a sharp corner, that turn 3. Thankfully, I don't think that caused any sort of major damage. But Rick Huseman, Quentin Johnson starting on the transfer spots. Can they hold on to them? Ooh, try to time the start there, Johnson. Thankfully, I don't think he jumped it. As the green flag comes out, he gets into the back of Huseman into turn 1. That holds him up. Vandenbush gets to the inside. He takes P2 away.
I think that actually gave him a little push forward. Vandenbush was able to come in and get in Johnson's way there because that little contact didn't get in the binders a little bit. Look at the tie-up now. They were out there. Jake Hill was right in the middle of it in the 170 signature propeller machine. He was getting beaten, banged up a little bit there. Burhout and Johnson doing a good job.
Miraculously, miraculously, nobody got turned around in any of that insanity into turn 2. So it'll be Huseman, Vandenbush, Johnson now your top runners. But it is only Huseman and Vandenbush that will make it through, and Johnson is going to desperately want to try and make that overtake back.
Oh, yeah, definitely wants to make a lot of moves there. He's got to try and get up there. And these guys are starting to get a little physical. They're going to get a little frustrated. You can see now Huseman, Vandenbush, they got a little bit of a good lead. So, you know, Graham's going to put it a little bit deep there in the turn. Wes Graham in the 188. You can see there, obviously, a next-level driver with racecraft. Next level racing. Love it.
Running with a VR headset, which in dirt racing, that is really huge on the sim side. It gives you so much more of a perspective of what's happening around you to be able to really be able to see everything.
Instead of waiting for somebody to come up and pass you, you can actually look over at them and know where they're at. So if you don't move right into them and take you and him out, or her.
And you can see him looking to the apexes, looking left and right. In fact, Wes having quite the battle with Dominic Berrouet, who is going to be able to get to the inside coming off a turn 4. It's a drag race past the start-finish line, but Dominic on the inside. Oh, he tries for the slide job, cutting back underneath. Wes Graham easily goes right back past him.
And of course, the final lap, the white flag is out here in the D main. Top 2 will go to the dance. Johnson just outside the bubble, but it's Vandenbush who's got all the pressure on him right now, trying to hold on to it. You know, I think it's going to be pretty much Huseman and Vandenbush. There's not a chance there, Johnson.
It's looking like it, and indeed you are correct. Huseman wins in our LCQ1. Vandenbush will be the last to advance from second place. Johnson, Graham, Berrouet, Williams, Hill, Simpson, Pierce, Ramsey, Crossman, all are going to be sit down in the stands after this one. And, you know, they always say you can't win the race in the first corner, but you can sure lose it. But Vandenbush, that move down into turn 1, that was critical.
Yeah, it was. That really made all the difference right there for him.
Looks like we're gridding up for the second of our LCQs. This has Hunter Carlson on the pole position. Gavin Plummer is going to be starting to his outside. Nolan Bishop will be starting in P3. Solomon Borschinger will be 4th, and then Kyle Cooper in 5th. Patrick Solari starts 6th position. Alex Lajeunesse in the 7th spot. Mike Leroy in P8, and Drew Gerber 9th. Jordan Miller will be the last of the top 10. Joey Rickert in 11th. And I believe Rickert started his first race up relatively high, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, he started in 6th and wound up 11th. So this is someone who's going to be in a real hurry.
Yeah, talk about every single driver out there is going to be in a hurry there to the first turn. Like you said, you know, this one, you know, you could win it in the first turn, but you're right. You can lose it in that first turn too, as we saw that tie up earlier in the last heat race.
All right, they're going to be heading off into the pace lap now. Remember, we'll get one more last chance qualifier after this. And then from there, they'll have a warm-up session, and we'll go to the feature race, which will be 26 laps. Now, here's the other interesting thing, which I don't think we've mentioned yet. Top 8 will invert for the feature days. So that's that means though the driver who was going to start in 8th will suddenly be on the pole.
And you're going to yell Yahtzee when that happens?
You're hoping you're yelling that when you see the checkered flag, I gotta imagine.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of fast drivers behind you. That is for sure.
Yeah, I know. That's a tough one right there because with the fast movers, but you really have to look at the times of some of these drivers that we're talking about that are going to be in that top 8 that are going to be inverted. They were always within that winning group. So you know they're fast drivers. So I think it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, it is certainly a tightly packed field on pace as the green flag is out. Hunter now has the top spot. He got robbed of his transfer before. Can he make up for it as the battle for second is on? Looks like Bishop to the inside of Plummer.
And Bishop gives a nice little door there on Plummer. Slides it around. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of door-to-door competition or contact is just always loved.
That's fair game between them.
Yep.
Another little touch between himself and Plummer and the tan machine. He'll be able to get to the inside, but he's going to slide wide on the exit. Still, he finds the speed, as it looks like, I think that was Jordan Miller off course for a little bit before he gets turned around. Second place goes to Gavin Plummer.
That was pretty cool seeing Miller there. It's a little throwback to Bryce Menzies, or even Ricky Johnson back in the old days of Red Bull. Very cool. Now we're looking at Carlson. I'll tell you, he's got some. I know he's a karter, so I know he's got some skills and knows to hit those apexes.
Yeah, he's so far really holding it down. Doesn't seem like Plummer is able to at least get close enough to attack on him. We had a swap for third place as the 254 manages to get through there. And also Joey Rickard in the 79 is coming up. Oh, that's Hunter Carlson. What happened to our leader?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
He's pulled off to the side. Must be some sort of technical issue because he's just come to a halt and he's stopped. Gavin Plummer's now your leader. And Joey Rickard's fighting for second place with Borschinger. Could he pull this off and come from the very back to transfer?
Oh, this is just absolutely crazy right now. Bishop slid back, Gerber slid back. The whole field just got switched around there.
Unreal. He's managed to get in there. White flag. Last lap. He's going to slide into him as Borschinger tries to take it back from him. And it looks like he was through, but for some reason it was not scored in that position on mine. But now he's set his front. No, Rickard should be in front. This is strange stuff. Not sure why my timing and scoring is showing that. Regardless, Gavin Plummer is going to be your winner in this one. But it looks like Rickard should be our driver that gets through in second place. He is second on track. Borschinger just behind him. And it is Cooper with Lajeunesse, Bishop, Gerber, Miller, Carlson, and Solari ending their day. Now my timing and scoring decides it finally wants to behave, and Borschinger is showing as third place. So we're going to see a replay of Carlson. So this should be into turn one. Oh, looks like, unfortunately, we won't be able to get to it in time. Here we go.
We got some time.
So we'll see it in a bit. Yeah, we were a little early on the replay.
Lap 2. Lap 3 is actually what happened.
Interesting note from race control. Finish is under review. I'm not sure what that's for, but they don't like what happened exactly. So we'll see.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened.
I am too. So I think next time around we're going to see our leader come up into the first turn and just pull off to the side. Again, I'm pretty certain this is some sort of technical problem because I didn't see him hit anything. He just kind of pulled up and the truck came to a halt.
And the tan man went out front. There it is.
Oh,
whoa.
Broke the right front.
Front. Okay.
Was not a technical issue. Wow.
Wait, how did it break the right front?
And watch how he lands here. I think he hits the embankment.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
You
And that's something that we've been talking about since they introduced the damage model to these trucks where the pieces can fall off. Those tires, the suspension, they can't take a beating like they used to. So you can't exactly just toss them around willy-nilly. Let's go through our starting grid before we get rolling here as Colton Buchanan starts on the pole. Dave Hayes will be second, and Stephen Metcalf will be in P3. It'll be Austin Bolson in 4th and Brandon Forcade in the 5th position. Then it's Trevor Teal in P6 and Franklin Monak in 7th spot. Corey Denson starts 8th and Jason Vandevort in 9th. Armando Di Melgosa 10th, Kyle D'Souza 11th, and Hadley Boyce in 12th. 12 trucks and only 2 will go on into the feature. And this really truly is the last chance because this is the last of those LCQs.
Yeah, did we get a ruling on what happened the last race and anything? They said it was under review. Have we heard anything yet?
No, haven't heard from race control yet. And I was just going to see if I could ask them if they're holding this start until they decide. So let me shoot them a message here.
So it's funny, I was thinking, just reminiscing, I went back through the old memory Rolodex there. And Brian Deegan, back in the Challenge Cup in Pro Light, did the same thing. Overjumped, landed on the embankment, and snapped off the 2 front A-arms on the right side of the truck. So it happens, and that's what I love seeing in iRacing. It just brings back so many memories. It's like, I forget that I'm not at the track right now sometimes when you start watching this racing. It's so realistic. Love it.
It can be deceiving sometimes with all that they put into it. And I can confirm they are holding the start for that review.
Okay.
And it is because the final transfer spot is under review. So this one's an important one. They want to make sure they get right. Very interesting stuff. This does give us a chance while we sit tight. One thing that you had brought up a little bit earlier, a couple times, Dave, is how many families are involved in this style of racing. I don't know what it is, but it's so cool to me to see how much of a family affair it is for drivers to then bring in their daughters and sons or nephews and nieces in and get them hooked by the bug, and then it just keeps continuing down the order.
Yeah, we used to refer to it to a lot of the parents I talk to. There's like, they see their dad racing, and they're like, okay, my kid's going to race. Well, he ended up calling it the golden carrot. So he goes, yeah, if he doesn't get good grades, he doesn't do well, he's not going to go racing. So it gives him that golden carrot. So instead of sitting in the pits, if he had bad grades, he's out there racing before dad or mom. It was so cool.
Man, that's such better motivation than like Chuck E. Cheese or mini golf. Honestly.
Yeah. I will agree.
All right, so 191 is going to be in, and the 79 is a black flag. Let me double check. So that's Rickert. Okay, so that means Borschinger is going to be off to the feature race. Interesting. Rickert is not allowed through. And man, that is a real shame because that gave us such an incredible thing to witness, him coming up from the back and managing to get to P2 on the track.
Yeah, I mean, that was an incredible race there. I mean, it was crazy how what happened to Carlson, but everything that happened after him pulling off the track was like, whoa, what just happened here?
Yeah, I wonder if that is related to the issue I was seeing. I wonder if he was given that black flag in the race and that's why it messed up the timing and scoring, but it for some reason didn't register properly. Whatever the case, they've sorted it out now, and we will see Borschinger into the features. We finally get rolling and get ready to go for the last of our LCQs. If you're Buchanan and Hayes, you're probably sweating just a little bit. If you're everybody else, you are white knuckling already.
Oh yeah, I can tell you right now. I know they're wearing, some of them wear gloves, but their hands are probably sweating in there right now. Hands on the wheel, going, all right, we sat here so long trying to figure this out. It's like, let's start this race. I got all these guys behind me. Uh-oh, somebody's net coding out.
Man, that was a little bit odd. Yeah, that's the only reason that I wear racing gloves when I sim race is because my hands sweat like the dickens. So it actually affects my grip a little bit, so I kind of need it. But we're hopefully going to get a grip on this race as Buchanan now has control. The pace truck is off. The 202 will get the green flag, and he's going to try and run away off into the sunset here at FireBird. Looking for that call. Ooh, he's a bit late on it. Green flag is out round the outside. Dave Hayes gets a much better jump. He could take the lead away from him here, and he does.
Yeah, I said Hayes had a great reaction time. Buchanan slept a little bit there. And who was that? Is that Buchanan? No, Forcade and Metcalf. Oh, hello.
It is a right traffic jam, just a complete pileup into turn 2 at the back of the field. This has spread them out. That's not good news for anybody that wants to try and get through. Bolson now up into second position. Buchanan has dropped from the pole down to P3, and he's not in at this rate.
Yeah, that's definitely was that reaction time really killed him on that start there. I got to tell you, I mean, know it's a rolling start, but you really got to get that timing, getting that throttle, and getting the power down to the dirt.
Highly unusual for the pole sitter to miss out like that. Usually they have such control over when they start, and he's missed a big trick there as Dave Hayes tries to run away. He was one of those that also was kind of denied a good opportunity to get through at the very end. Meanwhile, battle for that P2 spot. Buchanan's not going to take this one laying down.
Now Hayes is now going there, but I think Bolson, Buchanan, the ones we're going to have to watch right now. Buchanan definitely is like, all right, I had a brain fart. I got to move through this. I got to get past it. Just settle down. He's probably talking to himself. That happens a lot.
I can only imagine. Maybe a few things we can't repeat on air here.
Yes.
Is Buchanan coming up to the inside. Goes for the slide job, gives the hit check to Bolson.
Oh.
Bolson goes way out there, and that gives P2 to Colton.
And I think that's where we talked about the track starting to deteriorate a little bit here with the final LCQ out there. It's getting a little slick. You see some blue groove coming down there. As we head into the white flag here, one more lap to go. Buchanan definitely clean pass, I'm going to say. You got there. Oh, was that who just got tied
Metcalf.
up? Metcalf.
And it looks like Bolson as well. Yeah, Bolson falling down the order. Won't matter much from here because he's not coming through whatever happens from this. As Dave Hayes, your leader on the last lap, comes through the final corner. He didn't start from the top spot, but he's going to finish there. A win for the 999. And Buchanan, what a fight back to be P2.
Hayes doing that little nose wheelie there. I love it.
So it looks like Forcade is going to be in fourth. Boyce is okay. I'll wait for my time in scoring to settle down here because it's jumping around everywhere. And who knows, maybe we'll get another review after a few big moments between drivers there in that race. But now that it's finally settling down, Dave Hayes is your winner. Colton Buchanan is P2. Brandon Forcade is third. He will not advance. Trevor Teal fourth. Kyle D'Souza fifth. And Bradley Boyce sixth. Austin Bolson settles into seventh. Ian Magolsa in eighth. Monak ninth. Vandervoort 10th. And then Denson and Metcalf were 11th and 12th. Okay. Time for our warm-up session. And let me just check to see if they've reset the track. Looks like they have not.
No, I can see it moving around, but I see a lot of blue groove. It's really a lot darker than normal.
Yeah, so they have not reset the track here, which likely means they will not reset it for the feature, which means this is going to be extremely torn up by the end because, as we said, there's even more laps, 26 laps, and I believe 21 cars taking part, 21 trucks.
Nice. It's going to be busy out there. We're going to see trucks around the entire track this next race. Well, you can see some of the on the outside corners. You see all that the marbles. It's loamy, it's thick, it's heavy, and it's not where you want to be.
Exactly. Ooh, riding up against that berm a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's an example of what not to do once again. But that's why this one's warm up. And this warm up actually has a purpose relating to what we were just talking about there, Dave. Now the drivers that haven't been on since that first heat have a chance to actually get out and I like the way you phrased it, dip their toes in the dirt.
Yeah. Whoa, somebody catching the K-rail on the inside there.
And not many of those around here, but enough that you can definitely get into trouble.
I'm thinking the track's changing up a little bit. There's another one into the wall there. I think what they're doing is they're holding on a little too much on the throttle coming off that lip of the jump, and it's like throwing a little bit sideways.
Yeah, we have to remember that this is the Pro 4 that they're racing in. So four-wheel drive on these trucks, which I feel like sometimes that gives maybe a bit of overconfidence in what the truck can do, since it's kind of foot to the floor for a lot of times.
Well, yeah, even, when you're jumping these Pro 4s, when those front wheels come off the ground and those back wheels are still spinning, you could actually get a little squirrely that way. Well, especially if the track's a little loose or if you're in some loamy dirt, it can kick you sideways. Even on a straight line, if you get on that gas, it's going to throw you a little bit. You got to know when to lift.
All right, let's go through our starting grid. Much bigger field for this one. Nathan Metoxen starts it on the pole. Adam McAfee will be in second, and Jeremy DeWitt will be third. Remember, they have reversed the top 8. Brody Disher will be P4. Mark Grechko is 5th. And then you've got Austin Scheiber in 6th position. From there, William Feinling will be in 7th. Chaden Zane Minder will be in P8. And Brent Smith 9th. Top 10 going to be rounded out by Christian Noble. Drake Mittag will be in 11th. You've got Brock Smith in the 12th position. Row 7 sees Rick Huseman on the inside and Gavin Plummer to the outside there in 14th. From there, Dave Hayes will be in the 15th spot and Taylor Vandenbush 16th. Now we're getting to the drivers that managed to escape the LCQs. Joey Rickert will be in 17th, Buchanan 18th, and Borschinger in 19th, starting from the very back. At the end of lap 11 is when you will see the competition caution. The drivers will reset. And the other big thing, since you mentioned, the trucks kind of going in from nose to tail around the complete track. If anybody gets lapped, Dave, they do unlap trucks.
What do they do? Push them forward? Unlap
Well, they send them around an extra lap so that they can catch up to the back of the field. So
yeah, they do at the comp car, and that's usually when we catch them up. And we always say they're going to come around, tag the back of the field, get back on the lead lap. They do that in the real off-road racing too. That's what I like about this. They're mimicking exactly the rules, exactly how they run races. Connor's done a great job with his stewards. Really watching. A lot of these are real life either drivers or real life sim drivers that know the things that you should and shouldn't do. And that's what's so nice about it. And that's what the regionals are great about, learning these until you get to the national level.
And this kind of makes me wonder, since, we talked about there's a lot of the younger generation in these families coming through. They're now getting to race here in the sim. And I know we've talked about it in previous broadcasts and how much experience it's giving them. Have you noticed a difference in the younger drivers coming into off-road racing? Does it seem like they're coming in and learning things quicker, or is there an advantage, or are there bad habits showing up?
Well, yeah, I've seen it. One of the ones I noticed right away when we first started doing the iRacing, Connor Berry got a little bit quicker. And now he's gotten, of course, to another level, but in his real life off-road racing, it helped him quite a bit. I think with Drapkin, and anytime you get seat time, it helps you. Whether it's in a sim or in real life, seat time, seat time, seat time. I can't stress that enough. The more you're comfortable driving and feeling it, the guys that have the full motion sims probably have a little bit more of an advantage, but at least you get the basics of it and you're used to it. You're used to having to know if you overcorrect too much, because they've taken a lot of the physics into play in iRacing, that the actually experience that these trucks go through in real life. So I think that's what helps, is the car control.
Interesting.
That's the short version.
Yeah. Well, we have to get the short version because you can see we're almost through our pace lap, getting ready to go. But we'll try and talk about it later on this season. In the meantime, Nathan Metoxen, let's hope that he doesn't have a problem here on our start, because he's the one beginning from the pole. Remember, he should have been starting from 8th. So he might not have the pace that we saw, but we'll see. No, he gets a great start. He gets a big jump here coming down into turn 1. Behind him, McAfee's got a whole horde of hungry drivers trying to sling to the inside. And one of them, Jeremy DeWitt, takes P2 away.
Yeah, DeWitt with a nice move. There was 3 wide going up there, and the paintball machine there came a little high. He's going to go way up. Gets sliced out right out of the crowd.
And he was in. Oh, no.
Nope.
And we've got a big mess here. Somebody on their lid. That might be Plummer. He gets rolled back over, and more contact between trucks. I'm not sure if any of them are going to be 2 damage to continue. Looks like no meatball flags for these drivers. Metoxen leads, DeWitt second, Findling in third with a bit of a messy middle first lap.
It's amazing. Metoxen, DeWitt, and Findling were able to stay out of that mess there because they were coming up. Some of these drivers are carrying a little too much speed into that turn. I think that's what caused a lot of it there. It was all about that, hey, I'm in the main event, I got to get up there. And of course, the faster guys that won their heat races definitely feeling like, hey, I got to get all the way back up front again. It's driving frustrating sometimes.
So interestingly, it looks like they put the blame on that incident on Brody Disher. He has been given a black flag. Now he has about 4 laps to try and serve it, and then he will be DQ'd if he does not come into pit lane for his stop and go. And
he's currently sitting, what, 7th right now?
Yes, 7-6. He's been fighting with Mittag, I think.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what happened to the black flag here on this restart.
He was having problems actually getting off to the pit entry there because there was so much happening around here. So, yeah, another look at the start here for Metoxen. Again, just beautiful job on getting going. As for McAfee, though, let's see where this goes wrong because he kind of starts to lose out once they get down to turn 1.
All right, let's take a look here at the start here. A lot of people trying to force their way through here, which is all good right here.
This is where the mess opens up down into turn 2.
And then too much speed, diving to the inside and threading the eye of the needle, and then it just goes side of picture here, literally.
And interestingly, it looks like there were 2 separate incidents over the jump.
Yeah.
Because our paintball truck actually got into somebody midair, and that's what knocked them sideways. But then there was a separate incident. So, wow.
So we went through Grand Theft Auto at a hippie festival.
So that's Gretschko in the 164, the paintball machine we've been calling, that kind of made that side-to-side contact. And then this is McAfee. So he gets a little shoved around in the first corner. Or no, this is turn 2.
Turn 2 off the leap. Turn 3, here we go.
He basically just kind of gets pushed around. Yeah, that one wasn't really his fault, it looks like, as he got turned.
He got a little help from some friends.
Ooh, we better come back live because Metoxen is under threat from DeWitt. And there it is right now. Battle for the lead. Oh, there's that blinking you were talking about. Some connection issues. Metoxen gets shoved a little bit wide as DeWitt gets down to the inside. Another hip check off the corner. DeWitt will not pass, though. Metoxen holds on to P1.
And a nice move coming around there. The 19 Metoxen there. Been waiting for this thing. He's got to keep it up front there. Looks like DeWitt trying to go up the inside there. Oh, major blinking going on.
Oh, excuse me.
So
That's Brody.
DeWitt's in third.
No, that's Disher. So that's a lap truck that they're racing against. Okay, he's pulling off to the side, and he's letting him go.
Yeah, that was a little confused there because wait a minute, DeWitt's in the Loctite 38.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out as well.
Because I was thinking to myself, that's McGrath's livery with Deegan's number.
So that means Metoxen still leads over DeWitt. Behind them, things getting feisty, as you can see. So that almost allowed. That was Mittag trying to sneak through. Oh, he has a big bounce as he pinballs into the car next to him. Schreiber trying to now get involved in it. Findling behind as Minder is going to take that third spot in all the chaos. My goodness, it's hard to keep track of what's happening.
Yeah, I don't think this is the first time I've seen Minder and Mittag go at it. They've raced in the UTV classes against each other.
Coming down into turn 2 again, 3 wide through the corner down to the inside. That was Findling. Yeah. Schreiber's going to now try and take the spot away. He's actually held up by the truck in front of him. Mittag blunted his momentum. Otherwise, he might have had a good shot at trying to make that pass. There's a big look from Drake, but nothing doing on Shaden. He'll stay P4.
And Schreiber got pushed up real high. He's trying to get back up in the fight there, but looks like Findlay, Mittag, Minder, that's the battle back there for third place. Metoxen and DeWitt at this point have got their own race going on. But don't forget, We're going to throw that comp caution. We're going to re-rack him. We're going to restack him as Matag gets by Minder now.
Yeah, they're certainly using up a lot of their truck. You can see plenty of body parts kind of flying off these things at this stage. Shouldn't affect them too much, although you don't want to damage the suspension with all the baiting and banging. Up and over the crest, Mittag is going to hold on to that third position over Minder, who has now been demoted down to fourth. William Finley in the 310 watching from behind.
And then you got Brent Smith there in the 45. He's trying to get up in the mix there. And you can see the two, him and looks like Schreiber going out there. Smith's going to break away, try to get out to the outside, but he keeps on having a little trouble there with Schreiber. Keeps on getting in his way. We go on board with Smith.
That's Austin in front of us now, holding on to that sixth position. And yes, he's lost a little touch with those in front of him, but like you said, competition caution, I think, pretty darn soon here.
I wonder if there's going to be any trucks with any fiberglass left at the end of this race.
I
So
mean,
I'm seeing
it's-
a lot of fenders going into it.
Certainly looks like everybody is going to be... Oh, and DeWitt got by. DeWitt made the pass. Trying to see when that happened.
We were watching the Matag Minder battle.
Yeah, so that was coming up over the jump or thereabouts. And now it looks like we have the call for the competition caution. So everybody slows up.
Time to re-rack them and restack them.
Do we have anybody laps down here? Looks like Brock Smith and Grechko. They are 2 laps down. So they're only going to go to 1 lap down. And then Taylor Vandenbush is going to get his lap back. And he'll line up in 15th on the lead lap. So he gets the get out of jail free card.
Fortunately, we're not seeing, what is it, is there 21 trucks that started?
Yeah, Brody Disher looks like he is out of this race. So I wonder,
Bring him around.
I'm not sure if they parked him or if he parked himself.
See them all waiting there. Turn 2.
So while we wait for them to come around, since we got at least a brief opportunity, let's look at the opposite end. What's some bad habits you've noticed that the sim experience has brought in from the younger generation?
Reset button.
maybe a
We don't
little
have
too
the-
ambitious.
Yes. Knowing, hey, I can just hit the reset button there. And I think when we saw at the national ones, I know we went through our growing pains over the time, and the stewards have gotten a lot more stricter. They want to see more door-to-door contact. They don't want to see guys trying to drive through other drivers. You know, causing damage to your truck or another truck doesn't do anybody any good. Smoother's faster. I know there's a lot of cliches that we could say there, but I think that as they get more experience and more racing under their belt, they tend to calm down, and we've watched that. You and I have seen that in the National Series.
Absolutely. All right, so we're getting ready to go soon. Before we do, we want to mention that iRacing is having their biggest sale of the year. They do this pretty much every year. Black Friday sees 25% off for 1 or 2 year subscriptions. Or if you're a new user, like we mentioned earlier, you've been watching, wanting to get on, 50% off for a 1 or 2 year subscription. That is a fantastic deal. Highly recommend you take advantage of it, and you won't regret it, because like I said, it's so much fun. Even if dirt racing is not your thing, they've got paved oval, they've got paved road, of course dirt oval as well out there. So all kinds of cool stuff that and incredible different disciplines that you can race in. We're going to get going here shortly. DeWitt now your leader over Metoxen. Nathan led for much of the first half of this race. Can he get it back as the that was a bit of a stop start. I wonder. Okay,
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
going. Interesting.
So it's funny you say that. I got a text on Tuesday from iRacing's biggest sale of the year is here. Take advantage of the 25% off renewals. They make sure to hit everybody up. I even got the text. I might have to take advantage of that because that's a good deal.
So we do have information from race control. The 191 that Solomon Borschinger was given a black flag for intentionally turning a driver on the jump. Now we're going to go green flag this time by. So that's Solomon there, I believe, serving his black flag in the pit lane. And I'm glad we didn't go on the last one, because I saw a little bit of a go and then a wait, and you're not allowed to stop start like that. You have to go once. So Jeremy should hopefully avoid that this time. And there it is. Green flag is out. 38 is on the loud pedal down into turn 1. There's single file this time. Should hopefully be a little bit less crazy into turn 1, but not a lot less. And in fact, a great move there at the back. Look at Minder going up the inside, over under. That gives him 4th place, but he might lose it back here.
Yeah, I think he carried a little bit too much speed there, getting on the binders a little too late, and he was able to go up a little bit wider there. But he's still in the mix. He kept that inside line coming through there. So that's going to give him the advantage, getting by Finling one more time there. Finling, though, is not going to back off. Don't forget, we got Schreiber and Buchanan and Brock Smith back there.
Ooh, that was Metoxen and Mittag that were kind of that were getting into one another a bit, coming through the whoops, and that cost them a lot of time to DeWitt. He's now pulled away by about half a second. A shove from behind for Drake. I think that was Finling who got into him, and that's going to actually give him 2nd place. That helped him.
I was going to say that just helped him out quite a bit. So now the running order: DeWitt, Mittag, Metoxen, Finling, and Schreiber. And look at this. Now Schreiber and Metoxen is going backwards. What's going on here?
My goodness, it is unraveling. We have to remember, he started on the pole, but he didn't necessarily have the pace because he should have started in 8th with the regrid. So
Correct.
This is where maybe it's kind of rearing its head. Oh,
Yeah, a little bit of contact there, and he wasn't able to get that thing to rotate. He just kind of used Buchanan as a little stop for him.
looks like we've lost the 415 as well. Minder is now out of this race, down to only 15 cars competing. Not sure if that was a connection issue. No, it looks like he was removed from the race, so he must have been a little bit naughty out there, and race control did not like that. DeWitt leads, Mittag sitting in 2nd. We're down to 9 laps to go. There's still a good amount of laps, but not much in the way of time with how short they run.
And you can see Smith now working on Metoxen. He gets it by him there. Metoxen's still right on his tail there, but don't forget Buchanan, Schreiber, Finling, Mittag, and DeWitt is loving these guys battling behind him. So that means they're not going to be up there battling with him. Smith has got his hands full, though. I tell you, Metoxen is all over him like a cheap polyester suit.
He wants that spot back, gives a little bit of a tap coming into turn 1. Brent missing a few bits on the front and the back of the car. Hopefully he'll have, like you said, something left over by the end. An attempt from Metoxen. Oh, as he gets hit side by side with him coming over the jump. They'll both save it. And a hit from Noble on Metoxen as he comes down into 3.
Good reaction with those guys. You can see they turn those wheels to keep it straight down the hill, even though the truck was sideways. That's what you want to do. And, oh, boy, I'll tell you, Mittag is turning it up now on DeWitt. Looking up the inside right now. He's got that inside line going to turn number 2.
He's looking pretty fast. He gets another bump from behind from Finling again. This time it doesn't give him the spot. Now William is able to take P2 away. Can he try and steal the lead from DeWitt? They'll slide through turn 3. Still just a couple laps left to go in this one. Almost 3 wide, cutting back underneath William. Going to try and see if he could pull up ahead of Jeremy. It's a drag race off the corner. Drake watches from P3.
I tell you, Finling's been doing a little bit of nerfing there, letting people know. But look at that. He takes the lead for a blink of an eye. And DeWitt tries to get up just by a nose at this point. Mittag's going up the inside. He's going to rotate sideways there, but I think that's going to scrub a little speed out there. Oh, DeWitt goes way wide, loses momentum there, and now it's a Mittag sandwich. He's the filler.
That's Schreiber. Schreiber has somehow snuck down the inside of all 3 of them, and for a brief moment, he was in the lead of this race, way out wide for DeWitt. He is suddenly way back in 5th. Finling is your leader coming into turn 1, but take your pick. Any of them could be leading by turn 2.
Yeah, and you can see, unfortunately, DeWitt did not lift at all, and you can see that thing doing the alligator tail there. That's what happens when you stay on that too much. And look at this now. Buchanan and Finley and Mittag.
So Finley now leading, Mittag second, Buchanan is in third. A black flag for Huseman. So that's from farther down in the field. I think it was for straight lining another driver is what I heard from race control. So he'll have to serve that with only 4 laps to go. That's pretty much race over for him. And at best, he'll see about 12th spot or so. So your order up at the front now that they've gone single file, at least for a brief moment. Finley, Mittag, Buchanan, DeWitt just got by Schreiber, at least momentarily. That's your top 5.
Yeah, and you can see right now, again, DeWitt trying to get back up on his momentum here as he's fighting right now with Schreiber in that Milwaukee truck. But the surprising Finley, it's like, where did he come from and how did that just happen?
Well, he started from 7th, and now he's in the lead, and he's only got to hold on for about 3 more laps. And it looks like he might be one of the fastest right now because he's pulling away from Drake.
Yeah, he is definitely. Drake's trying to do everything he can right now. I think Finley's saying is, who is your daddy and what does he do? Because that's me. Up front. Just thanking him.
Just an unbelievable move. I mean, his slice to the inside through turn 3, that made his race. He saw the opportunity. He grabbed it with both hands. Now down to 2 laps to go, and still the 518 and Mittag can't seem to get close enough.
Yeah, the fiberglass is flying right there, and you can see Buchanan's trying to do everything he can to get up into that fight there. 2 laps to go this next time by. Ooh, the white flag. It's going to be interesting.
Watch out for Buchanan. No doubt he's also going to be in a hurry. Can you believe this? That 202 started 17th. He has gained 14 positions. Unbelievable run through the field. As the white flag is out, we got 1 to go.
Yeah, he definitely was able to avoid a lot of that carnage that was out there. Very impressed by Colton Buchanan at this point in the 202. He's been driving fairly clean too, and these guys, it's not fairly, but he has been driving clean.
Just 2 turns to go. William Fenling, your leader, now spies the sweeping turn 4, takes it in shallow, then launches it off the turn to the start-finish line, and William Fenling will win the feature here for round 1 in the regional series.
We're going to start it off here. I tell you, Mittag's going to come in that 2nd position, and Buchanan, like you said, all the way from 17th, all the way up to a podium position to stand on the box with these 2 drivers.
Man, Colton earned that one.
Yeah.
Now, before we get too settled in this order, the final 6 laps will be under review according to race control. So we'll have to hold tight, and before we give the order, I think we're going to just hold on for a moment here in case there's any changes, and then we'll get an opportunity to talk. But unofficially, your podium is going to be William Fenling, your winner, Drake Mittag in 2nd, and Colton Buchanan in 3rd, as William's going to burn it down on the front stretch. I guess, do you call it burning it down still when it's on dirt?
No, we call it opening up a donut shop.
Ah, I like that.
He's opening up the donut shop. He just won.
All right. While we wait for them to sort out the order and make sure that it is official, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the unofficial results in a bit, as well as driver interviews, so stick around. Welcome back to FireBird Motorsports Park, round one of the iRacing Regional Short Course Series. And we can confirm that William Findling is your winner. We're waiting on the other drivers to get the confirmation. So the good news is we can chat with our victor here today in the 310, which I definitely am excited to get to talk to William about this one because, man, what a move to take what looked like three cars, I think, to jump up into the lead was just incredible. So let's pull him in and see how he feels about it. William, congratulations on the
Thank you.
victory. First of all, talk to us about the move that got you up to the front. We saw you try and slide underneath in turn 3 and basically take the lead off of three cars at once. How in the world did you make that work?
Man, just running officials, like, just that slider line. I always just like running it. I don't know how I made it work, though. I don't know how.
It looked absolutely frantic after the competition caution. Did you expect it to be like that?
Honestly, no. I was expecting to finish where I was. I was struggling during the whole race.
It looks like you're still celebrating some Halloween. Is this a monkey costume or what are you supposed to be here?
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
monkey costume.
I love it. Well,
Awesome.
a good way to start the season. Can you back this up in the other 4 rounds later on and get more victories?
Honestly, there's two other tracks that Bark River and Crandon Full are gonna probably be the only two I'm gonna be able to win. I suck at Wild Horse and I can't figure out the line at Crandon Short.
Well, you got at least a week to try and get around and get things improved for Crandon Short next week. But
Yeah.
congratulations on the victory this week.
Yep.
That was William Findling, P1. And it sounds like we have an update as Drake Mittag has been penalized. Colton Buchanan is now scored as second in the end. So he has actually gained 16 positions from where he started in the end. Let's pull Colton in and have a chat as it looks like Dave has caught up with the driver of the 202.
Well, Colton, I got to say, very impressed. You 16 spots you made it up through on that race, and it was a long one. It was after it looks like on the comp caution is when you really started making the moves.
Yeah, I just knew, I was a little frustrated in my performance. I know I'm faster than this, so I just sat back and just slowly moved my way through the pack, trying to be as clean as possible.
Now, with all that carnage going on in back there, I mean, I'm looking at your truck. There's all the fiberglasses still on it. How did you avoid that carnage?
Just, just putting in a lot of hours when I was competing this last year, and then you just learn where trucks are kind of going to go with weird bounces and stuff. So it's all luck and predicting where they're going to go and just find the openings, try not to get
D-
contact.
Do you go, the guy in front of me is a squirrel, so I got to stay on this side of him?
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, we got Crandon Short Course coming up next. This was a tight one for sure here at Firebird. What are your thoughts going into Crandon?
I just want to keep it smooth and aim to be faster. I haven't touched the sim for about since nationals, so I need to probably put some practice in and hold my lines a little bit better.
Well, Colton, congratulations. Very impressed watching you move up through the field there. And would you like to thank some of your sponsors that make this all possible?
Yes, I'd like to thank Just a Trim Lawn Service and the racing team, Refuse to Live, Buchanan's Paints, K&K Contracting, Eagle Eye Detailing, and I'd like to thank my mom for watching the race, my sister, and my beautiful wife for watching my son and letting this all happen.
Well, congratulations, Colton. Very impressed with the drive once again. Can't wait to see what you can do in Crandon. Going to keep
Thank y'all.
my eye on you.
Thank you. See y'all.
All right. We've got third place, so we've mixed it up a little bit, unfortunately, with that DQ. So, Joe, who do we got, and who are you going to talk to?
Well, I'm waiting to see if we have Brent Smith. He has been promoted because DeWitt had a faulty start and was docked 2 places. So that moves Brent Smith now up to a podium finish.
Wait, is that Brent Smith's first podium in iRacing? I know he got one in real life finally. Now he's
I'm not
got one in
sure.
iRacing.
Wow. Well, I don't see him around right now in our waiting room, so I'm giving it just a moment to see if he's able to show up, and definitely want to talk to him because I mean he's got the new weight loss program as he's shed more weight off this truck than Richard Simmons before the end of this race.
I'm sure Richard Simmons is pretty light nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
He lost a lot of weight.
Oh, looks like we got him. There we go. We got 45 talking to us now. Brent, congratulations on a podium at the end. We were kind of joking around. The car seems a lot lighter by the end.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was crazy out there. Quentin Johnson, one of my 906 buddies, was on the radio with me, and he's like, just be patient to start this race. Well, I felt like I was on the idler screw because everybody was just taking their time, and I roughed up my front end, and nothing I could really do. It felt like my tie rod was bent a little, but that's all I had to go forward with. So I just put my head down and tried to compete as hard as I could, and top 5, I was going to take it, but man, all that beating and banging around, I'll take a top 3. A good day for the 906 boys. I mean, we work really, really hard. We try to get up in the top 3 every weekend, and man, we're here and we're really excited.
And it sounds like you had a lot of determination today, just never give up attitude. Do you consider that one of your strengths?
Yeah, and you gotta put your eyes forward. And I mean, you're your own competitor in yourself, and anybody's got a chance at this. You got to put the time in, and we'd like to get more seat time during the week, but guy gets busy, and we get together and we make it all happen. But I feel that we can win when we have a good truck and the track fits our driving style. So we're gonna keep moving forward in this championship, and I love every minute of this off-road sport and getting announced Champ Off-Road and getting a broadcast and then now getting to be in the seat. This is where I want to be, like I always say. I love driving. I run sprint cars, mod cars back at home, but off-road trucks are where it's at, dude.
They're so much fun for us to watch. I'm sure it's even more fun for you to race. But what about next week? Because we start off with 2 tiny, short little tracks with us going over to Crandon Short next week.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging. We were talking about it earlier, and the big track's what we like. We like that high-speed track. But, hey, it's going to be technical. You got to keep your brain on straight, and you got to make it to the end. There's a lot of laps in these races, so we're going to keep focusing forward and make it happen. And thank you for everything you guys do. Dave Arnold, how's it going, buddy? I hope everything's going good on your end. And, man, we love this sport, don't we?
Oh, I love you, brother.
Well, that again was our 3rd place finisher, Brent Smith. Congratulations, coming home with a podium. And yeah, I'm glad you guys love this sport because I love this sport as well. I mean, what a start to the season. Things got a little crazy there with some of the penalties at the end of this one, but I'd have to say, Dave, that this is a great way to kick things off. We saw some amazing fights in round 1.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the way to kick off the season here, I mean, relatively, it was interesting. I know we had some calls, unfortunate things that happened, a little switching up on the podium, but overall, so impressed some of these drivers, and I can't wait to see how they progress through the season.
It's just not as entertaining unless you have some drama, and hopefully that'll continue
Right.
on next week. Join us for that, round 2 at Crandon, and that will be at 6 p.m. Pacific once again. Big thank you, of course, to the organizers of the iRacing Short Course Series, as well as to our team tonight, Jacob, Dave, and Cameron Aubernon behind the scenes on socials. Until next time, though, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.